Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Tool Show. Sorry, well, let me start that one more time here. Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to Tool Show with me, Master Dan, the Journeyman shooter. And today we're here having our weekly coffee time segment. And as coffee time goes, we're going to have a little talk here and just kind of talk between people and see what we can talk about. Today's lesson is you can't always get what you want. Sometimes in life you gotta take some stuff that you don't want to do to get to places that you want to be. It's one of the main lessons that you got to learn in life. It's tough, but it's important that you do learn it, because if you don't know that, it's going to be a harder life. Sometimes you just don't get that kind of stuff that you want. It's one of the world's most famous songs, as the Rolling Stones said, you can't always get what you want. But if you try sometimes, you just might find that you get what you need. Oh yeah. And I always know I was the same. My mom was kind of always telling me, she's a bank manager still, but she's always been a bank manager, and one of the things she always told me was she was really strict with the money and how I spent my money, and I always hated hearing that because I worked so hard for this money and I didn't want to waste it and not spend it. But investing is the right thing, and you got to be able to do that kind of stuff when you're of age, and if you're an adult, you got to be able to know what investing is and putting your money in the right places so you can do what you want to later. Because I'll always remember, when I was a young apprentice and I started in the youth apprenticeship program, I did not get talked to how I believed I deserved to. But in the trades, you have to earn that respect. You don't just deserve it, you got to actually put your time in and earn it. I had to work for free in the city sewer system so I could get those apprenticeship hours. I didn't get any money for that. It was just something that we were doing, basically, and it was a lot of tough, but it's just something that you had to do. You had to just get by, and you had to try to bite your tongue and smile. That's one of the biggest parts about being in the trades. Is that's the only reason I like acting, is because you had to act. I didn't want to be there most of the time, and nobody does, but you have to act like you want to be there. You have to act like you deserve to be there, and you have to earn that right to be there, I guess. So there's a lot of different things that you have to do, and that's just part of being in the trades. Hey, morning. Now, one good story, when I was a first year youth apprentice and I wasn't getting paid for anything, I was walking down the road with all my heavy tools. I had a big tool bag on one side that my dad had bought me for graduation that was coming up, and then I also had a big giant toolbox that I was carrying in the other hand with something else on my back, I think a backpack on or something, just because it was a big factory that I worked at, and we had road systems that led you to the different plants and everything. And I could see some neighbors, they were basically co-workers that were in a different factory there. They were driving by, and I seen them slowing down, so I figured, okay, they're gonna help me out and offer to carry my tools for me. And well, turns out they didn't offer to carry my tools for me. They slammed on the brakes and hopped out, and one of them tackled me to the ground while the other one decided to come over and fart in my face. And I didn't really, it's hilarious now when you think about it, but at the time I was pretty upset. I didn't know what to do. I'm a 18, 17-year-old kid that just got farted on while he was working for no apparent reason. Then they hop in the truck and drove off just howling. I could hear them laughing still to this day. I bet they're probably laughing about that, but it just, it was a tough situation for me. But the one thing I did learn is that you can't really go tell on those guys, because I'm pretty sure they went and told the boss exactly what they did, and he laughed about it too. And in the trades, there's not a lot of, it's not the bully-free environment that you're led to believe that the world is sometimes, and that's a tough lesson to learn. There are still a lot of bullies out there, and you have to protect yourself, and you have to know when you can walk away from stuff, and when you do have to stand up for yourselves. There are certain times, but you have to really pick those battles, because if you waste that battle, then you're in a lot of trouble. When you really need that help, and you just pick your battles every single time something comes up, when you really need help, there's not going to be much there. Everybody's going to think that you're just complaining again still. And I've been there myself, because one time I quit an amazing job, a job that I loved with all of my heart, because they hadn't paid me for one day's work for 3 months. I'd broken my leg really badly just before it. I was robbed when I got back to work. Somebody smashed into my truck and stole all my tools and all my money and everything that I had in my truck on a weekend when I was working 14.5-hour days of straight no breaks. There's nothing. It was an emergency shutdown. So when you're an electrician and you have to get that stuff done so they can turn on the power to the whole area, it's a lot of people are depending on you, and you can't really just turn your back on them. You have to stay, and you have to earn that right to be there. And I did it with just coming back from a broken leg, and it took 3 months for me to get paid for this one single day, and I still didn't even get paid for it, I don't think. So maybe when I left, they might have put it on the last check, but it was tough. But I decided I should stand up for myself and fight back and walk away, go to a different company. And I really regret that, because I love the guys that I was working with there, and it was a tough time. It was when you're going through a broken leg, and just before the broken leg, it was the floods of Calgary where everything flooded, and multi-billion dollars worth of flooding, and I was robbed of all my tools. I'm a journeyman electrician, and somebody broke onto our site, cut the locks off of the sea can that all my tools were stolen in while I was evacuated from my home. They threw all my tools down the hill where the IKEA is in the south there, and loaded them into a truck and drove off. And there goes $5,000 worth of tools, but it doesn't matter about the money. It's the fact that those tools were donations and gifts from family and people that I worked with, and it was a collection that it took me over 10 years to build. That little collection, stuff I didn't get paid for. When I was in the youth apprenticeship program, I didn't get paid a single cent, but once in a while I was lucky. They gave me a tool like a screwdriver that split apart at the end to hold a flat screw on the end of it. It was just an amazing tool that you had, and all of it down the drain. And I'm pretty sure that the person that stole it doesn't know how to use those tools properly. It was a weird situation, let's just say that, and there was nothing done. Nobody paid for my tools that were coming back except for family. I was very lucky that I had close family that were there for me, and that's what you need to know. You got to know that you can go to people that you can trust and people that are actually there for you. There's a lot of people out there in this world that are going to take advantage of you. No matter who you are, they're going to try to take advantage of you, especially if you're doing well. If you're a young man and you're in a position of being able to have a little bit of money, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to come after you. Same with if you're a young woman. You know that you have even more disadvantage where there's going to be people trying to take advantage of you, like young men, and you have to be bigger than that. You have to just be an adult about things. Sometimes in life it's tough, and nobody knows everything. Everybody makes a lot of mistakes, and that's one thing I've learned lately. It's everybody makes a lot of mistakes. And there was a person that I just met she actually asked me, do you believe in meeting the right person at the wrong time? And I said, no, I don't believe in that one single bit. Everything and every person that comes into your life, they're there for a reason. You're watching this video right now for a reason, because some reason you needed it. You hopefully needed to learn my lesson, or at least needed to hear my lesson. I needed to tell my lesson, or at least tell my story. There's a lot of stuff that people don't know about that go on in the world, and in the trades especially. In the office community, there's a lot of HR. You can go to your HR if you're having trouble with a coworker, but in the trades, you're bind with these people. You are building projects, and you're stuck with them no matter what. You can't get away from these people. So if you go to your boss, they're usually friends with those people, and they're going to go to that person and talk to them and find out what's wrong and what actually happened, and it's just going to make things worse sometimes. So that's why you need to have a support circle, basically, somebody that you can go to and you can talk to and you can figure things out with. And not always will that person know exactly what to do, and not always will you know exactly what to do. You're not going to handle every situation perfectly, but as I said, everything leads you back to who you're going to be. You're destined to be somebody better than what most people believe in you, because a lot of the time people are jealous. They don't like your idea. Like me, I know there's a lot of people that hate on the idea of me starting my own comedy tool show. They think I'm ripping off somebody else or doing something that I shouldn't be doing, or that I'm never going to succeed. You know how many people laughed at me when I said this is my dream? And it wasn't just because I was telling a joke. It was because they honestly don't believe that I can actually do this. And that's one thing that they're going to regret someday, is when I'm looking back off that massive stage, just like all of you, you're going to see billions of people in front of you because you're a leader, because you know how to handle these situations. And if you keep following me and you keep helping me out and making me a better person as I make you guys better people, then it's going to help us all. And that's what our communities need. That's what the world needs. And if you want to see a change in the world, you have to start with the man in the mirror. That's what Michael Jackson once said, and it honestly is the truth. You can't change the world unless you start with yourself. If you're doing bad things and you're taking advantage of people and you're doing stuff that you know deep down inside your heart is wrong, then change. Do something different. Start getting rid of the people that are around you. And that's tough sometimes, because you got to look around you and find out that you're a product of your environment. My dad, he always said that you are a product of the environment that you are in. If you're living with people that are doing drugs or partying or just wasting all the money that they earn, or wasting their time, or wasting their lives, you're going to be a product of that. You're going to not want to go to work. You're not going to want to do things in your life that you can succeed at. And people are going to tell you that they want you to be in those situations, so they're going to tell you you can't succeed and that you can't go farther, because they need somebody to support them as well. And it's tough. It's hard. I've had to say goodbye to a lot of friends, and it's what it is. You're going to see them someday. It's not like you're going to say goodbye to those people forever, and hopefully you can help them in return. But you can't help others until you help yourself. And that's one big lesson that everybody should know too. There's a million different lessons in life, and I'm lucky enough that I had a great family, a great support system. I was raised by hardcore men in the trades. Hardcore men and women. There's a few in there that really, I know they affected me somehow, and they taught me a lot of lessons. And it's a great world. You just got to get out there and actually experience it. You can't just sit around and waste your time and expect things to happen. You have to set goals. You have to know where you're going. There has to be a direction. You can't just waste your time. You're a valuable person, and society needs you. It's what it is. When you're sitting around at nighttime, you could be doing something with that time. Start art. Do something that you actually like. Start a hobby. Start a TV show. I swear, if you copy my idea, it's going to be a call out, and I'm not going to hold back. But there's no competition in this. Like, I don't plan to fight anybody. If you want to start your own TV show, go for it. Like, we can work together. There's more than enough room in this world. And if you do want to compete, you can just put your head up your bum and compete for air, because that's the only competition you're getting from me. I'm not here to fight. I'm not here to compete. I'm just here to show you what I learned and teach you that I'm a person that has gone through a lot in my life, and I know these things. I've been through it. I've actually had to experience it firsthand. And one of the easiest lessons that you will learn is to learn lessons from others. Don't have to go through these things on your own. You don't have to leave the house at 19 years old and move 22,000 kilometers across the country just because you think that there's a better opportunity, just like I did. I did it. I had to do this stuff. I lived on my own for years. I lost my family because I left them aside for too long. And now I'm trying to mend all these things, and it's coming back together. But you just got to work. You got to put in the time, and you got to use that support circle that's around you. I'm really getting off topic here. But for coffee time, I think my coffee is just about cold. So let me see. That was mostly full when I started there. But for coffee time and tool show, I'm Master Dan, the Journeyman shooter. And get out there. Make sure you're changing your community, and don't take things personally. When people are getting on you, it's never personal. Just walk away. Be the bigger person. There's lots of different ways. Look up some stuff online. I don't know everything, so don't trust me. I just know how to get out of certain situations. But when you're in those situations, make sure you just be the bigger person. Try to stand up for yourself if you absolutely have to, but just try not to. You don't have to always stand up for yourself, because especially in the battle, let somebody else think they won. People always called me a wussy or a loser because I say sorry a lot, but that's the thing. When you say sorry to somebody, it helps diffuse the situation. It lets them think that maybe they won, and then you walk away and you plot your revenge, and then you come back later harder than ever. And no, I'm just kidding. You don't want no revenge. The best revenge in life is to be successful. And if you really want to get revenge, go out and do something with your life. Make something of yourself. Get your own TV show. Talk to people and actually help others change the world, because that's the only thing that you're going to be able to do in life. You're not going to be able to control every situation, but you can control how you control the situations. And when you control the situations for yourself, you can walk away from stuff. You can be the bigger person. You can stand up for yourself. You can do absolutely anything in the world. Like, I had a friend that told me that they were worried that they couldn't always live up to what they were supposed to live up to, but that's the thing. In life, there is no limits. You're in the biggest video game in the whole entire history history of the planet. You are playing a game every day. Wake up and just put everything you can into that. There is no limit on your day. If you get the right people in your life and you get the right mentors and the right community behind you, there is no limit to where you're going to go. And that's one thing you need to know in life, that even if there is bullies out there pushing you, that it's going to get better. And I know personally from the fact there's going to be so much farther you can go down before you hit that bottom and you get to that better point, but you just got to stick with it. There's no easy path in life sometimes, and a lot of the time in video games you get those easy paths where you can just do whatever you want, press the escape button, and you're out of that situation. But in real life you don't have an escape button. There is no real quick easy quit button, because even if you're just quitting, then you're bringing a lot of people with you. There's a lot of people that are affected by your life, that care about you, that are there for you, and it's not fair. You don't want to do that to yourself, you don't want to do that to your others, and you don't want to fail what you're going to be in life, because you're going to be something great. So don't give up, don't stop, and just keep believing in yourself, and that's all you can say. And there's nothing else you can do. You're just a human being. There's only so far you can go, but there's going to be downs, there's going to be ups, and that's what life is. It's a roller coaster. Electricity, alternating current, one of the best currents in the history of electricity. Tesla versus Edison, alternating current is a sea. It's like a wave basically that hits the top and goes down to a low, then hits back up at that top and goes down in the low. It does that because a generator goes in a circle, and it can't show that in electricity basically, so it shows it by going up and down. But when you're generating, it goes down, then it goes up, then it goes down, then it goes up. And that's what alternating current is. When a generator spins, it creates an electric magnetic force basically that kind of comes out and flows off through and goes where it needs to. I don't want to teach you the whole math of that because it's just ridiculous, but that's one thing you got to know, is that when you're a generator and you're generating that kind of stuff, you just have to be positive and you just got to keep going. So for Tool Show, I'm Master Dan, the Journeyman shooter. And get out there, be a positive generation for your community. Thank you so much. Have a good time, and talk to you soon.